Nice choice.
We're going to hear that a few times, probably. Stars lose their 4th straight game. Yes, I know they have points in 2 of them, but it's gotten progressively worse. Great game in a loss against Detroit. It was overtime. Sloppy game against Chicago after the winter holiday break, but it's a shootout. You kind of write that one off. Back-to-back ugly games against Buffalo at home and now Chicago on the road. We'll get it all into it. Sean's here. Luds is here. Sam's here. I'm here. And Ryan's here. We're all here. So let's start our post-game show on DLLS.
Bang.
This is the DLLS Stars post-game show as we just witnessed a 4-3 loss to the Chicago Blackhawks. Woo. It was actually that little push at the end made it closer than it really was. Craig Ludwig, Sam Nessler, Sean Shapiro joins us for the first time in almost 10 days. We've had holiday breaks and stuff like that. And, of course, our producer, Ryan Vaughters. I'm Owen Newkirk. Thanks for joining us tonight. We will get some energy at some point, and maybe it'll.
Hey,
there you go.
Come on.
Tech support.
In
case you're wondering what that was,
Nay.
Sam just helped Luds' ancient laptop.
We were clearing his cookies.
It worked.
Yep. Now we just need some milk.
All right. Well, let's get into this with some hats and some shirts.
Come on, Ryan. That's pretty clever, eh?
Before we get into the post-game show, check out the All DLS hat collection. Go to alldls.com. They're very good looking. Oh, by the way, do you like my sweatshirt? It's the DLS camo sweatshirt, and it is on sale right now on the DLS website. So check it out. It's very comfortable. I think it looks good. First time wearing it. Sam has had it for a while. Get it. Okay. Sean, I'm going to go to you first because we haven't talked to you in a while. How you feeling about the Dallas Stars since the last time we talked, which was the Detroit game?
It's incredible. This team hasn't won in this calendar year. It's absolutely remarkable that to talk about that.
If you were listening, it's your dad joke.
See, it's funny. For
so I told
people.
you, people Ryan over the age of 65.
Yeah, Ryan said only
would appreciate that joke.
Or Owen said you clearly mentally are over the age of 65.
I also have. I have 2 young children, so that's
3.
That definitely makes the jokes I can deliver. I've been able to deliver at home the past couple days hit with a different audience than
excellent.
The many live people watching this show. Yeah, bad. Tonight was a 4-3 loss on paper, but really was not that close. Probably the irony is we're probably going to rip Jake apart for the 4th goal, but he did actually a pretty good job earlier to keep this game closer than it probably should have been early on. And obviously you guys did a great post-game show last night against Buffalo, so we won't rehash that completely. But when you combine these two back-to-back, these in a back-to-back this way, this is the moment, right, where we keep waiting for, I don't know, you talk about the adversity, whatever you want to call it. This is the moment where if you're Glenn Goldson and his staff, this is the spot where you're like, all right, today, this 72-hour stretch combined with what will probably be announced at 8 a.m. tomorrow about one of our players who's going to be disappointed about an Olympic selection. This is where you start revenge tours, right? This, like, you want to spin it forward, right? Like this between Buffalo loss, between loss to Chicago, between Jason Robertson getting snubbed, and we all did our best to get Jason there. This is the spot where if you're a good coach and you're a good team, you use all of this to fuel things and move things forward. That's the silver lining. The reality is past 48 hours have been really bad, and I think we just have to call that what it is.
Luds, Sam, I asked you too. I couldn't ask Sean because he wasn't in our conference room studio. It was 3-1 after 2 periods of play. And I said to you guys, if this result holds, does this team deserve to be ripped? What's your answer now that you've seen the final result tonight?
No, I don't think they deserve to be ripped. I just think there's a stretch that they're going through, and I've said this so many times. Every team, good teams and bad teams go through them longer and more often during the season, but you're going to find this. And I think what it'll come down to, and they're going to talk about it, it's going to be about leadership. And so this is where you got to, unfortunately it's one of the worst teams in the league. You've lost to a couple times in the last week, of course, but they've got to dig in a little bit. I think that things were coming not easy to them, but when you look at some of the goals, the pretty goals, the highlight real goals, it said all this, that teams are going to start playing you a little bit differently. And I just felt tonight on a couple goals in particular, teams are pressuring them more. And tonight Chicago came after them, and they said, we're not just going to hang around to get beat. And that's probably going to get this is probably a good lesson for them. I mean, it's a good lesson for the team, the coaching staff. Maybe now the coaches have to start to coach a little bit. Because, you're winning, finding ways to win all the time, and this is happening, that's happening. It's funny, Sean. So right when that goal, the one that sneaks through Jake leg's arm, whatever it is, my phone's ringing. And guess who's calling me? Eddie Belfour from Carmen, BC. Or no, he was in no, he wasn't. He was in Manitoba. So he was in Manitoba. Les, what's going on with Otter? I said, I don't know what's going on with Otter. I thought he had some good saves early in the game, but I don't know. Do you see anything with Otter or the goaltending? I mean, no, Casey wasn't the same Casey, right? I mean, it was about time he didn't have another stand on your head game, but where are you with goaltending over this stretch?
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah. I think goaltending has regressed a little bit closer to what's NHL norm a little bit. And I think that's a test. It's kind of one of those, like, you want them to start the year as well as they did and to be clicking as well, but at some point they're going to kind of take a step back like they have. And I don't expect, like, tonight's game is a really good example of Jake needs to make that save on the fourth goal, right? Because that's just a bad goal. But there's also the scales of how do we figure out where if he lets up two other goals earlier in the game where he's playing pretty well, that fourth goal doesn't matter. It's a really, to answer your question indirectly, I think the goaltending has done a perfect job of showing them where their other flaws are. I think that's what it's been. I think the goaltending has taken a bit of a step back a little bit, not a major step back, stuff that's fixable, but it's also showed the team and the coaching staff where the other flaws are. And if you use it the right way, it can be an asset. If you don't, and your goaltending never improves, which I doubt, all of a sudden then we have a big problem. But I don't think that's the case. I think this is more so of the goaltending, I think, will kind of regress, whatever, positively. Sam's the writer. Let's Sam pick a
Let's not ask Sam.
And then I think for the rest of the team, it's when your safety blanket's not working that well, you find out you got to find your own ways to fix it. So
we're going to go through this. We'll break it down. We'll talk about all the things. Honestly, I'm throwing out the Detroit game as part of this 4-game losing streak. They're winless. They had 2 overtime points because that Detroit game they played really well. They lost a 3-on-3 overtime. It's better and more of a hockey performance than a shootout necessarily, which they did against Chicago. But they played really well. Detroit played really well. That was a fun hockey game. Ever since the holiday break, they have not looked themselves. Now, you can give them a pass on the first one because both teams look sloppy, and we talked about playing down to their opponent. And Chicago had won 0 games in their previous 6. Well, guess what? They have 2 wins in their last 10, and they're both to the Dallas Stars. They haven't won a game otherwise during that span. And they've been really bad since late November, even before Connor Bedard got hurt. Well, the Stars have turned in 3 subpar performances in a row. And I understand what Luds is saying, that they're a really good team. They have a great record. They've had a great start to the year. We're halfway through the season now. We're at 41 games.
Hey, we did it.
41 games to go. If you signed up at any point in the offseason or even in training camp and said, would you take this record, which would be 25-9-7, 57 points, second in the Western Conference at the halfway point? You say, sure, absolutely. Where do I sign? That's great.
Everybody would take it except for the Avs.
Yes. Which is, by the way, you said every team goes through that during the course of the year. The
Yeah.
Avalanche may not actually
Where is theirs?
have a dip in form this year, but they may
That
not.
might come in April.
You're right.
Yeah.
Second week.
Yeah.
when they're
And-
15 points ahead of everyone else.
And it doesn't matter if they can't win in the playoffs or score power play goals. But we'll get to that. As I go through these 3 games, and especially today, Sean, in the pregame show, the last thing I posed to both Luds and Sam were, after what you saw last night against Buffalo, what are you expecting to see from this group? And they both answered very distinctively: effort, leadership, dictate play was the word that Sam used. We didn't see a whole lot of that.
No, we didn't. No, that's we did not. Is that
And
you're setting
I guess
me up
for
to
me,
be,
is that the disappointing thing? Because of it's one thing to have a couple of games at home after time off, but they had that.
Yeah.
The Sabres game was not good, and then I know it's travel and late night or whatever. They followed up with another lackadaisical performance, to say the least.
Are the guys tired? Is it where we got to be concerned, or not us? Do they have to be concerned? When I see Essa look a little low on gas in a couple opportunities where he couldn't seal, gets pushed off of a puck, do these guys have to play 25 minutes a night?
If you asked me that question after the Detroit game, I would say that's a very fair question, because they've played a grueling schedule through the month of December, November. It's been nonstop. But they just had 6 days off.
That you don't just fill your battery up after just having 3-4 2-day breaks, and all of a sudden you're rejuvenated after the last 3 months and you play 25 minutes a night. That's not how it works.
So how long do they need?
Well, I'm just saying, I'm saying over time,
Yeah.
is there a way to dial minutes back by 2-3 minutes a night? And so you're not playing 25, 26, 27. Maybe can you spread the minutes out for the defensemen, especially your top guys that you're going to count on. You're going to count on Harley and we talk about Essa and Merrill.
With Harley not playing well to start the year, with Lundqvist being injured, Lyubushkin's had a couple of things, an injury and illness, and Bischel's injury, it's been all squarely on the Lindell, Haskin, and shoulders to carry the load on the blue line. Up front, they've had their injuries. They've gone through stretches. Obviously, losing Sagan's a big thing. Shane missed a ton of time. Maybe, but I don't know. Again, look, it's not the end of the world, but I was talking to Luds. Sam, I'll let you do this one. I really thought that when we circle the lineup, that they're not. Yeah, we're not going to see any changes until after the winter, the Winter Olympics. But I don't feel the Stars have 3 punchy offensive lines like they did last year.
Yeah, and I responded to you and said they're going to swing big, and I fully think, this is not for sure yet, but I fully think they're going to use the full amount of Tyler Seguin's LTIR. It just seems realistic. Sean reported it's probably Western Conference Final at best, maybe Stanley Cup Final. You can't take that risk with him. We dove into that a bunch. If you missed those shows, go check them out. But I think they have to not just swing big because they have the money, but there are holes. You mentioned it. It's not just, hey, we need a left wing, or hey, we need one defenseman. They probably need another top 4 defenseman. They definitely need another top 6 forward. They might even need 2 top 6 forwards. And that's really hard to find, maybe even impossible to find with the way this league is going, the parity across the league in the standings, especially in the East, where you're just not going to have sellers. Thanks, Sean. But they have to try, because you're right. You don't want to say, hopefully Jamie Benn can be that guy in the playoffs. Hopefully Justin Witzkovian will find 4 goals during a playoff run, because you can't count on that with the way this team's going and the basically Stanley Cup or bust that they're going for right now.
Fair point.
It's-
John?
Here's the reality. For the longest time, we've wanted to be like, hey, this is a good team. They're one of the top 3 teams in the NHL. And it is the reality is, hey, you know what? They are having problems. I've said it multiple times. They're having problems other teams would kill to have. That's all fair and good. Okay. But it is okay to start acknowledging the reality of this, of Colorado's not having their slide. Minnesota, I think, plays tomorrow as a chance to catch them on points, I believe. The reality is you're playing at the high roller table by force, right? You have to play at that table where it's not the like if Colorado, Minnesota, and Dallas, even if two of them were in one division and one was in the other, we'd be talking about, you know what, hey, they can all be in this race, and all that matters is they don't have to worry about each other until they get there. But we know it's just the nature of the hand they've been dealt and where they are. They have to build this. This team has to be ready to win a series against Minnesota and then against Colorado. And if they don't, and if it's not Colorado, that's just lucky because that means someone else beat Colorado in round one. And so they have to be ready for that. And so this is where normally I actually hate building your team around a specific playoff matchup because I think it's ridiculously, because I think that's short-sighted and you should worry about yourself. But the reality is you're going to get Minnesota in round one. They've gotten better. Minnesota is going to continue to get better. The Colorado is not going to slow down. So you have to think about all of that. And so Sam talks about swinging big and doing this and that and the other. This is why, like, I know Jim, and Jim has said to me, it's like, oh, we know someone's going to get hurt at the Olympics. We got to see what the deal is there and everything like that. And I've said this on this show before, right after we did the show right after they announced Tyler was done for the year. Like, this is the spot where Minnesota made their move. You're already behind when it comes to building in the Central. Let's just call it what it is. You're already behind when it comes to adding to your group and taking the next step and pushing your team and everything like that. And if you wait till the Olympic injury or everything like that, all of a sudden, hey, everyone's going to know you're hurt and everyone's going to know you're going to have to overpay for that. Like, I think I have a heavy disagreement with Jim's approach of, hey, we're going to see how things come out.
But you know he's not going to change.
I know that, but it's you know, but we also said, to be fair on something, let's give Jim credit on one thing here where no one would have thought he would have swung for Mikko Rantanen last year, right? Like, we always, like, in the same year he said Logan Stankoven was on the untouchable list. Well, Mikko Rantanen change what that untouchable list was. So we can talk about players and we can talk about coaches and management and everything like that, and I think that's important. But I do think one of my kind of things about being like forcing all of this is you take about lessons from the last 4 days and you look at the league around you and where things are going. The lesson should be to the guy upstairs running everything of like, look, this team is going to be a playoff team. We know they're going to be in that 2-3 matchup, but this is where it's your job to put the new piece in place. So Glenn Goldson doesn't have to figure out how to shoehorn it in with 20 games left or 15 games left, whenever it is after the deadline. Get it to me with 35 games left. Do that. I don't, like, my big push right now would be internally as you're talking about this is, okay, we know we're a cup contender with this team, but because of the division and the path laid in front of us, we have to do something more because we're not going to get to play. There's no cupcakes in the NHL playoffs, but we are going to get a behemoth right away. So we need to become more of a behemoth.
So how do the Stars get Nazem Kadri, Blake Coleman, and Rasmus Andersson all from the Calgary Flames in one trade?
Do it
without giving up any of the important pieces they have right now.
But they can't trade any roster pieces.
Yes. That'll be fine. It'll be totally fine. Up next, full breakdown, more conversation, post-game show here on DLS continues in a moment.
Let's talk about Monarch. Monarch is just where it's at. I've never been very good with money, never been good with organizing. But with Monarch, it makes it really easy to put everything in one place. Monarch just gives you your whole financial picture right in front of you. You want to see your investments, your accounts, your savings, debt maybe that you have, all kinds of stuff. You get it all in one portfolio. It's super, super simple to read. You do not leave money on the table. When you're making good money, it's easy to get complacent, but with Monarch, you don't get complacent. You can stay on top of your goals and not let them feel out of reach because Monarch keeps you on track. You can even give access to your financial advisor, no extra cost, all kinds of options with Monarch. It makes it super simple. So don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code DLS at monarch.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with the code DLLS.
With over 700 5-star reviews and an average rating of 4.9, Qualis Roofing is one of the most trusted names in roofing across North Texas and Austin. Whether it's your home or business, Qualis Roofing has you covered, literally. They specialize in both residential and commercial roofing projects. Based right here in North Texas, Qualis isn't some storm-chasing fly-by-night crew. They're local, experienced, and committed to doing things the right way. Schedule a free roof inspection and get a free DLLS shirt. Replace your roof and Qualis will choose between a free Blackstone or a Traeger smoker. If your home was hit by recent storms, don't wait. Qualis offers free storm damage and assessments and can help you guide right through that insurance process. Qualis isn't just good at roofing, they're great at communication. You always know where your project stands and what to expect next. Call or go online to schedule a free roof inspection, and don't forget to ask about your free grill. Visit QualisGC.com or just search Qualis Roofing Construction. That's Qualis, Qualis, or call 817-500-9008. And Happy New Year.
Thank you, Luds. Happy New Year. It is indeed. Except for not tonight. All right. Let's go through this one. We got a ton of super chats still to go. Lots more conversation. I think Sean brings up some really good points about it, and I agree with you, Sean, about it. But we know that Nil, for the caution of future, if you make the move too early, he's not going to do it. But we go back to that. Like, this game as a whole, we're frustrated. I know you don't like it, and I'm with you, but you know it's not. You know he's not going to change. So Stars actually played a pretty good first period, right? They outchanced Chicago on the high danger chances. It was a 1-1 game. They only gave up the power play goal against. Both teams had good looks. I don't think it was a terrible first period on the road. You? Any of you?
No. Well, it wasn't great. You're playing Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah.
It wasn't great.
No, but it wasn't bad.
No.
It was fine. I mean, Hintz had a chance point blank from Bork right off the hop. That's a Razorism, by the way. Robertson had a nice little redirection that hit the post. Wyatt Johnston had a chance just to the left side, driving to the crease. Steele had that shorthanded 2-on-1 pass that deflected off the crossbar from a defenseman. Robo had a chance in the slot on the rush from Hintz. Rantanen scored. We'll get to that. Those are some, I mean, in one period, that's a lot of good quality opportunities. However, that was the best they played all night. And that's where it went the other way. And they gave up some chances in that first period. Ottinger made a couple big ones, including ones against Bertuzzi, Burakovsky, Green. But on the power play, Luds, 1-0 Chicago because Levshunov had some time and he picked a spot.
Yeah, I mean, this was a hungry power play, in my opinion. And I mean, they turned it into a barnyard. Well, here's the first part, is you've got your best penalty killer for the Stars, maybe in the NHL, that's sitting in the box. So you're taking a knife to a gunfight is what you're doing, and that's just sitting in the box. But I think that there were a couple opportunities here early on before that even happened. First, you got Essa sitting in the box. Then you bring this one off the bar. And then you kind of get a little air under you, and you think you do. But get out of position here a little bit for me. And all of a sudden what we do is our top guy, we get away from our diamond. You end up pulling yourself out of the middle of the ice, and now we allow things to happen in the middle of the ice. But what I think that the positive thing, if you're a Chicago Blackhawk fan, is how these guys crashed the net. I mean, this goal here, Jake, look at this. Look at this car crash. Like, this is what you're expecting your goaltender to make this save. I mean, there's bodies. I mean, when you talk about bringing everything to the party, that's exactly what the Chicago Blackhawks do. And that's the result of this goal. At the end of the day, yeah, Levshunov or Kov or whatever his name is, he gets the goal. I don't know how it finds its way through the whole pile, but I got a shot, I think, from the back here. There's nothing Jake is going to see on this. I mean, it's the way you play. I mean, they come in, they crush the net. Bertuzzi, as we've seen many times lately, but this is the vision that Jake has in front of him. Now, jeez. I guess my question would be, should he be crouched down like that? Would you want to stand up? I know he's nearly as tall as Ben Bishop, but should goalies be standing up there and kind of trying to look over the top? I don't know, not my spot, but regardless, for me, I give Jake a pass on this one. Sean?
Yeah, just real quick on that. I have no fault of Jake Ottinger on this play at all. He's dealing with chaos actually pretty well. You play a little deeper actually in that spot because that's the only way. Let's give Levshunov quick credit, and let's go to the chat where people yell at Sean for giving credit to other people, but let's give Levshunov credit real quick for having patience, because there's a lot of young players, Luds. I know you've watched a lot of young D who crank that shot into the mix right away. Like, I think Levshunov taking the second to let things open up a bit actually is the reason he scores this goal. Because and I watched Levshunov actually play a full year at Michigan State up close quite a bit too, and there was times early in his career where he would have taken that shot, so that's some growth from him. But from a Jake perspective, I don't really know what else you can ask of your goalie on this play. That's
Sean, is he the reason he's in that position and maybe not standing up straight? Is it because he's trying to take up as much net as possible and make himself as big as he can?
He's also just trying to, like, there's also a recovery point of the reality is, Luds, when you get so much of hockey too is just playing percentages as a goaltender, right? When you go and teach your U18 guys where to shoot when there's a screen in front of the net, you don't tell them to shoot up here, right? You don't you keep your so from a goaltending perspective, so much is a percentage play and everything like that. Where yes, a guy, unless it's John Klingberg there who was trying to ring everything high the entire time. Most D are trying to get it about that 14, 18 inches off the ice. So, and I know Jake's a big guy and everything like that, but you're still doing a better job maybe of your screen looking around and everything with what that is. You just got to play deeper and play the percentages there. It's hard to fault Jake on anything here.
Okay, after that, let's now flash back to last Saturday, and we talk about crashing the net, Luds. Bertuzzi did a great job of that in Dallas.
I don't know how many teams has he been on? You say 4 or 5
handful,
teams
yeah.
in his career? I'm trying to figure out why he had, because when I watch him play, especially with this jersey he's wearing now, he's around the front of the net all the time. Yeah. And we saw this game back in Dallas, and this is what Jake had to look around. He plays the game, 6 inches from the top of the crease, and he's a big body. He's got good hand-eye coordination. He's got patience, and he's calm in tight spaces. And this particular goal here, but tonight you saw him in all of these areas around the front of the net, whether it was 5-on-5 or it's PK. I mean, he's a house. And once he establishes position, that's when, as a defenseman, because of his size and his strength, you don't get tangled up with him. You almost have to play in front of him. And if you're going to do that, now you have to make sure you block the shot, because good forwards in that position on the shot, what they'll do if they know that you as a defenseman's in front of them, they're just going to turn their back as the shot's coming. Then they kind of push themselves backwards. Now they create space and they've got you boxed out, and it's kind of, you just reversed it. So as a defenseman, my opinion is if you want to get into those situations, you have to make sure you're going to block that shot if you can't seal a guy like that out.
The reason, Bloods, on when it comes to Bertuzzi, because I know his time from Detroit and kind of covering him there. And like, I remember when he got traded from Detroit a couple years back, Dylan Larkin, it was actually the day within 48 hours of Larkin getting his big extension in Detroit. And Larkin was like heartbroken about it. Like, there was a full I remember the press conference. It was one of the weirder ones I've covered in my career, where Larkin is there to celebrate signing this big deal in Detroit. And they traded away Bertuzzi to Boston. And there's a real like remorse and upsetness from Larkin. And I know Larkin has told me that Bertuzzi is one of his favorite teammates he's ever played with. I think one of the reasons he's played for so many teams, and it's the reason he didn't get the extension in Detroit, is there's the Tasmanian devil factor. The Tasmanian devil factor of kind of, he's a little bit chaos all over the place, and hockey GMs, people and everything like that are like, I love him. I love what he can do. And I love the way he gets in front of the net, but I don't know if I want to give him a long-term contract because I'm scared about it. That's the only reason this guy has moved around so much, because otherwise he probably would have gotten the extension in Detroit and he'd probably still be there. So,
I mean, he's a 25, 30 goal scorer.
I know.
What could you add here?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
We
agree, lads. So
we go to the Steele shorthanded chance, 2-on-1. We thought it was Blackwell, but it was actually a deflection off a defenseman's stick. Goes up on the crossbar, and then they go down the other end, and Levshunov scores. So it's a bit of a hit. Oh, you almost had one. Now you give one up, so it's almost like that two-play swing. Mikko Rantanen threw his team on his shoulders and made a superstar play to level this thing at 1.
Yeah, he should have been wearing a mask on this one. I mean, I think it was Dickey. He pickpockets here at the offensive blue line. I don't think Dickinson knew where he was, and I don't think he ever turned around to see where Rantanen was. But as this puck comes up the wall, Dickinson, right here, he doesn't turn his head around. He has no idea. The puck comes to Dickinson, and at the same time, I think Mikko's baiting him. He's letting him go ahead, put his stick down, and he does. He lifts his stick and he takes it in, and then it's the finish on this whole thing. And you get it, the finish.
I get it.
Nice, dude,
Okay.
nice.
Unintended.
Was
But what I love about this is taking it to that. Now, Vlasic as a defenseman, yeah, you gave him a little bit too much room. But Sam, I want you to take it from here because you love this part. This is where
This is Mikko Rantanen. He's a Finnish hockey player. No, I'm going to ask him. I haven't actually asked him specifically about his toe on his stick, but he does a great job here of toe dragging that puck to the middle. And the way he shoots that, if you watch that replay from that angle that we just had there, he doesn't even use the whole blade of his stick to elevate that. He's basically toe picking that as it's starting to kind of pop up on his blade and just almost chips it up into that corner perfectly off that bar. I would imagine, you said the same thing. I'm going to check when they get back that he has a pretty fat toe on his stick.
Yeah, I would think it kind of goes like this and it widens. It's like an ice cream scoop.
Because he can do that and he can sauce passes in such short areas. I'm with you on that.
Anyway, nice goal. He's a pretty good player.
The highlight of the night for the guys in white.
We will pause there. We'll pick up the breakdown. We'll get some more reaction because the second period was not good. The first period was okay. It went the wrong way. We'll do that next here on the DLS Stars postgame show. Wild Fork Foods Meat and Seafood Market is the place for all of your grocery shopping, but particularly for your main courses, right? Talking the proteins, the meats, seafoods, and of course, they also have side dishes. They have breads and dessert, all great things. But they have so much of a selection. And one of the things that I think people don't realize is everything they have is frozen. They blast freeze everything, which maintains freshness. It's true. I've had their brisket. I had their chimichurri outside skirt. It was delicious, very well prepared, and actually maintains its freshness because of their freezing and packing process, as opposed to buying fresh, then throwing it in your freezer, and then trying to thaw. It's just not as good. They have 9 area DFW locations, which includes Frisco. Of course, we can all talk about Plano, North Richland Hills, Flower Mound, Wiley, Addison, Las Colinas, Prosper, and Louisville. Check them out. wildforkfoods.com. You will not be disappointed.
This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I, and let's face it, everybody, make decisions every day. Some big, some small. With Prize Picks, when you are right, you can get paid for those decisions. That's a beautiful thing. Prize Picks is super simple. Makes it really easy. All you have to do is pick more or less on at least 2 player stats, and you get your picks right, you could cash in. Prize Picks is also unique. It's the only app that offers stacks. So let's say you're really excited about Miami beating the Ohio State Buckeyes and going to the semifinal of the college football playoff. So you want to put some money on Cam Ward, the Tennessee Titans. You could pick touchdowns, rushing yards, passing yards, as many as you want. If you win all on Cam Ward, you can win with Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code DLS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code DLLS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right.
All right, let's continue with the breakdown. Stars lose 4-3 to the Chicago Blackhawks. Sean, my old broadcast partner, used to constantly like to say it's an old hockey axiom: never give up a goal in the first minute of a period or the last minute of a period, which sounds obvious, but it does not help when you have a carryover power play at the end of the first period, or I should say the entire 2 minutes, and then they allow a goal 13 seconds into the second period. Les is going to break it down, but I feel like going behind in the first 15 seconds of the period has to be a negative.
Yeah, it's funny because I had a goalie coach in high school who said something, who used that exact axiom of when talking to goalies. He said, "Do not let up a goal in the first period. Do not let up. Sorry, in the first minute of the first period, in the first minute of the period, the last minute of the period." He also then said, "Do not let up a goal short side or far side." And so then I got to the question of asking him, when yeah. Everything is my fault then, huh?
What should I give up?
No goals.
But yes, it was. Especially against this Chicago team where, I mean, against any team, but this is a Chicago team where they haven't been winning many games. They're not very good. They are looking for an emotional spark, and Dallas is one of the few teams they have confidence against. And so you can't help but imagine on that bench where when you get those kind of timely goals in those areas, like, hey, we beat these guys a couple days ago. We may suck, but for whatever reason, we can do it against this team. And that stuff can have a human element on the bench. So
Can I say one thing about that?
I don't know. Can you?
Classic. See, you can say them. Why don't I?
Because that's a grammar joke, not a dad joke.
Classic. All right, I'm gonna say them anyway. I just wrote.
I knew you would.
I just finished writing about this. If you guys didn't notice, I was writing. That's why I wasn't paying attention a lot of times. But I was literally writing that
he's gonna throw it at
this
you.
Team. It's not about the fact that they have lost these games. It's not about the fact that they, couldn't find a way against Chicago. It's about the fact that right now they are the healthiest they've been all season. So put away distractions, put away anything else. This team should not only be beating Chicago and beating Buffalo, they should be dominating games. They are arguably the deepest team in the NHL. They should have every reason to be controlling games. Ole Miss? Yes. Love that.
Focus.
Love that. Miami Ole Miss, baby. That's a hell yeah. And they should be controlling these games. They're too good, and that's what's frustrating me more about it. It's not the little things. It's the overall concept that if this is just a little slump, that's fine. But I think that they have no excuse at this point to not be winning these games, and at least 3 out of 4 points against Chicago or something like that over a week. The fact that they got 1 is just not good enough.
All right, let's break it down. Power play goal for Teuvo Teräväinen.
This is about pressure, Chicago pressure. And then a little boo-boo in my opinion. But this one here, I believe it was Essa. Pressure here, moves the puck around the wall. It's hard to get a lot on it because of the pressure. And then it's Miro that goes back. He's got some more pressure. It's hard to move the puck. And then it's, I believe that's Dickinson that goes and cuts this puck off. But here's my problem, is what was Colin Blackwell do standing watching this puck go around the wall? Because by the time he realizes that this puck is coming out front, he's a little too late to get to Teräväinen. Teräväinen beats Jake. I'm not sure about this goal here. This is one that I felt Jake was really deep on this, but the puck comes around the wall. My guess is he gets back and he's underneath the bar. He's trying to see where the puck is, but he doesn't come out to challenge on this one. Whether he thought someone was picked up or he had a little more time to look around, he doesn't. But ultimately, it squeaks through. So
yeah.
But Colin Blackwell, for me, when that puck went into the corner and Blackie just stood there on the wall, if anything, regardless if there's somebody there or not, you get back to the middle of the ice. You're killing a penalty. You don't want to be on the exterior of the rink. So I just thought that was his mind and his feet weren't in sync.
And I feel like that was sort of the precursor of a pretty laissez-faire period from the Stars as far as their, I don't want to call it effort because they're always trying, but their ability to create dangerous offensive opportunities. They just didn't do it. In fact, after a first period, Sean, I had the Stars at 6-4 in high danger chances after the first 20 minutes. And by the end of the second period, I had it 11-7 Chicago. And so if you think about that, that was 7 against and a whopping 1-4. And that one was Colin Blackwell driving to the net on the backhand, and he must miss it just wide. It was a good chance. Chicago dominated that period, and they got the second goal from Mikheyev on a net drive that you don't see happen to Esa Lindell very often.
Yeah, but it all was because of their pressure again, too. The puck's put in, and there's a lot of pressure along the walls, and I would tell you what happened here, but apparently we have a football score we're getting in tune with, right? Or no? Are we? Oh.
No. I'm just talking to the producer about hockey stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just breaking down a goal, but I wasn't sure if I should do a football game breakdown.
No, you're good. Do this one.
Oh, okay. Just keep going.
Talk about pressure.
So anyway, this is the pressure I'm talking about. Again, Chicago not respecting them, saying, hey, we're coming after you guys. Pressure on F1. Pressure goes back behind the net on F2. And then Wyatt, I believe, is one coming off the bench here. He got pressured too. Puck turns over. And then it's when Mikheyev takes the puck. Then he comes in the middle of the ice. And this is where I was talking. I don't know, is Essa tired? Because Essa loses his ice here. Mikheyev cuts to the front of the net. And not sure where Jake was on this one. There's a part of me that thinks there's no way he thinks Mikheyev will get around.
That was what I thought.
Essa.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take the close post because it's not happening.
Like he's not cutting him around him, so I just have to make sure I take the near post.
Yeah.
So,
anyway.
That made it 3-1. And frankly, there was a long delay after that. I don't know. Did you guys get any pictures of the? I know that we didn't see the video of Miro slashing it, But
I didn't send a
honestly, the best encapsulation of this game is Sean, the cracked curved glass, as a result of a Miro Heiskanen frustration moment, which, by the way, I don't know if I've ever seen a player get a minor penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct for breaking a pane of glass in frustration after a goal. Have you?
Speaking of breaking.
I have not seen the I've not seen the penalty for someone doing it with the stick. Like anytime a pane of glass has been broken, been by in play causes, if we want to use the right terminology for that. But yeah, I tweeted the picture about it. It was a perfect encapsulation of the game where Thomas Harley is just looking at the iPad, watching as with a big hole of glass right next to him from when and I don't know, it's a good thing because we just talked about the Essa on the goal and we talked about Essa and Miro being tired, and there's a reality, and it's something that the Stars and Essa and Miro and everyone's going to have to sit down and think about and talk about, because here's the reality. There's no time for a rest, right? Like, even if you're going to be like, hey, we're going to scale their minutes back to what realistically, how much are you actually going to scale their minutes back? Even if you scale them back to 23, 24.
Yeah.
Or even from 23, 24 to 21, 22. Okay. They're still playing every other day. They're still playing a ridiculous schedule like everyone else in the league is. And then on top of that, like, Miro and Essa are going to be, well, we talked about Jason Robertson getting a nice long rest at the Olympics likely and coming back motivated. I mean, how many Miro and Essa, as Team Finland is not going to do the Stars any favors. I mean, no. Miro and Essa are going to play this many minutes, if not more, for Finland. So the reality is, I guess the reality is on this, like, and I don't know if there's a way you can do this and whatnot, but like, do you get super aggressive about, like, unless they're playing a game, you hide Miro and Essa's skates from them? Like, just seriously, right? Like, why do Miro and Essa never ever need to skate in a non-game ever again? They're both pros. They know what they need to do.
Luds, is it too early? Is it too early, 41 games into the season, to tell guys like Miro and Essa you're not going to be practicing for a bit? Because they like their ice time. They go out there and mess around a lot.
Yeah,
there it is. Thank you, Ryan. There's the shot. Yeah. I mean, that should be our.
That's pretty awesome.
That should be our, in case you missed it.
I wish we had proof of what exactly happened.
I know.
Like all the
camera. None of the TV cameras got
nothing.
it.
I'm going to ask Miro and see if he'll say.
We have nothing. We can't see.
There was no TV. I just searched for like the last 10 minutes looking for it. I didn't find a single.
I'd like to see. I'd like to imagine Thomas is actually watching old DLS episodes on the bench. That's what he's doing on the iPad right there.
He's trying to see if he could get an angle of Miro's slamming his stick because he didn't see it.
Yeah. Harley's the one that keeps breaking panes of glass on shots at the practice rink at Frisco.
Yeah.
I'll bet you if you ask Miro, he's just going to say, I was frustrated. I swung my stick. He's probably never in his life considered that slamming your stick against the boards is going to do any damage.
Especially go through it like that.
No.
Yeah, that was just weird luck. And he's probably in the box scratching his head going, how do you get a penalty for that? But anyway, we move on to the third period where Ilya Mikheyev scores an ugly goal. And Sean, I couldn't help but think about your comment that you made a while ago, and you've brought it up on multiple occasions. Goaltenders now, even the really good ones, and Jake is a really good one, fall into technique habits even when the play doesn't merit that habit.
Yeah, and this is it is not laziness. It is a overly reliance on going to the robotic decision as opposed to being an athlete on the play. And I've talked about it a ton on this show, and it's one of my things of when you watch goaltending now, you get kind of frustrated with it. I mean, I saw it quite a bit. Just flew back 2 nights ago from Minneapolis and watched a ton of it at World Junior with goalies that are the next generation of goalies, right? And this is one of those moments where it was kind of goes in, and then you see Jake take a long look up at the video board, trying to figure out how it went in. And I'm sure this is one of those where I know Jeff Reese isn't a big in-season adjust Jake's game. In-season, it's you just your tweaks and everything like that. But I hope this whole game sticks in the Stars' mind about what they need to do. And I mentioned at the top of the show of Jim Nill looking at moves and everything like that. But from Jake Ottinger's perspective, it's you played like you're gonna kick yourself on the flight home tonight because you're gonna be in the spot where, you know what, we do come back, we get those 2 goals with the extra attacker. I played really well earlier in the game, but that's the difference in the game. So it's So I don't know. It's definitely a frustrating goal for me to see go in on any goalie, but especially on someone who is in that class of he's going to be on the Olympic team. He is one of the top goalies in the league. Like it's a frustrating thing to watch happen. So
all right. We'll talk about the other goals in the third, little wrap up of things to make the window dressing a little bit more palatable, although I don't think it really does. And we'll get to all your super chats next here on the DLS Stars postgame show.
Have you heard about our hat collection?
You lads.
Have you heard about it?
Choo-choo.
It's brand new. Have you? There. Oh, it's
Conductor
right there.
series is what we're calling it.
So Sam's sporting the Cadillac hat, and the choo-choo hat is the one with the green on it, and the white one is the big dog. So, and then we don't do enough with the shirts, Ryan. Can we get let's do the Finnish Mafia. Let's go with the Mafia because I thought Rupe Hentz was competing tonight.
Yep,
didn't score.
I agree.
Mikko was Mikko. There was
best player,
right? I mean, he's doing his thing. Essa may be down a quart, but that's okay. And then who else we got left?
Miro slammed his stick and broke the glass.
Miro's
that's cool.
He did get an extra 2 minutes sitting in the box tonight. So
I wonder if he gets fined.
He got some time off.
Maybe.
But besides that, there's our shirts.
Afford it.
Yeah.
There's the finisher. Man, good thing nothing happens to Mikko Ren. Nothing. Right?
Yep.
Go ahead, Sam.
It's not me.
It is.
It is?
Oh, yeah.
Two.
What?
Yeah. You don't have to look at it.
You can kill time if you'd like.
Diehard,
yeah.
Sell us on
Let's talk
why they should sign up.
Oh, because I'm looking for ad reads for tonight, 12:31, which was last night. Be a diehard, lads. You know why? Because you see that you hear me tap away on my article. That's the kind of stuff that you can read here at DLS for myself, the guy tapping away on the screen, Sean Shapiro, all the other crew, the Mavs crew who's over there doing the show right now, Cowboys, Rangers, so many good writers here. You get to read the articles, everything behind the paywall, and also get no ads on it. So it looks nice and smooth. Best way to read it. You get 20% off merch, 20% off events like our DLS Takeover, which was a huge success. Not only do you get 20% off of events like that, but you probably get first access to tickets like the Takeover when we put it in the Discord first, which is only for diehards. Sold it out almost exclusively to diehards. So make sure you become a diehard, alldls.com/diehard or the QR code right there. Bang.
Squirrel.
I do think that our number 3 pairing needs to be better.
Yeah. Why?
Yeah.
Yeah. Petro taking a step backwards.
Is he missing Bischel?
I don't know. I don't know if he's missing Bischel. I don't think that's the case. I do think that there's times when you're a little more comfortable, you try to do a little bit more. Like we saw one the other night where he was in center ice and he tried to make a little move instead of just getting to the red line, getting it in, what you would normally do. He's getting beat off the walls a couple times in front of the net. I think he just needs to be, because we all like him, and for what he's had to do to get here and have them tell him to stay here, I just think that he needs to be steady Eddie. Finish your checks, be tough in front of the net.
Simple.
Pucks go in, change. And with Ilya, it's hard for me to say too much about Levshunov. I know he's been sick for a long time, so maybe he's down a court too as far as the energy in the tank. But you know what, that pairing has to be guys that other teams don't want to play against. Your job is obviously to make things difficult in your own end, but you keep it simple, but you're really trying to keep things clean and not a lot of chaos around you. And then you're also, your job, you have to be realistic. You're trying to give your top 4 a good little break. So.
All right, let's quickly, wrap up the goals from the third period because the Stars scored 2 extra attackers, 6-on-5 goals. Jason Robertson on a really nice pass by Mikko Rantanen.
Oh.
Then Matt Duchene with just a little bit left on the clock, 17 and a half seconds, scores his third of the year from Johnston and Robertson. Robertson ends up with a 2-point night. And that's all fine and good, but they never had they had a couple of chances when it was 4-2. They used their timeout, but they didn't have any chances when it was 4-3 because they had 17 seconds. Mikheyev almost scored an empty netter for his hat trick. It hit the base of the left post. That one from a distance was close, but ultimately that just made this one look closer than it really was. And sadly, the soft, ugly Mikheyev goal to start the third period turns out to be the game winner, which I know when it went in, I thought, oh, it's 4-1. That, it's ugly, but it's not going to matter.
Yeah. It's a bummer.
It mattered. Although, I don't know if yes, technically, but those were two sort of scrambly goals at the end, and you sit there and go, maybe you want to step on that juice a little earlier when it's 5-on-5, but hey, 6-on-5. They didn't really have much power play time. Any final thoughts before we move on to Super Chats?
Thought Mikko and Robo were very good tonight.
Okay.
What about Robo?
Thought Robo and Mikko were good tonight.
Oh.
Robo just couldn't finish a few chances.
All right.
Big day tomorrow for him.
Let's get to, by the way, approximately 7:25 Central Time.
Perfect.
I don't even think I'll be awake yet tomorrow at that time, which is when the Today Show will be on. Don't look
Jack
at me.
Hughes, star.
We have the day off tomorrow.
Jack
I will
Hughes
not
is
be
the
getting up at
star
7. Ryan, you will
of
not
the
be up
Today
at
Show.
7:25 a.m. I have dogs too. My dogs can wait till 8.
I'm getting a dog tomorrow.
All right. I would love to get into that more.
In case you guys want to talk about anything else.
Luds will be mad if we're in overtime because we talk about your dog.
What time do we got to be done?
10.
We got about 10 minutes, Luds. Here we
10
go.
minutes?
10 minutes.
Bing bong.
Handle it.
We're going to roll through
Start with
these.
Craig's Buttwig. Great way to start the Super Chats. With a Lundqvist and Year After the Cup. I'd rather, Ryan, you got to move that. There we go. I'd rather repeatedly step in dog than watch that brand of hockey. No excuse, no business losing to this team minus Bedard, Nazar twice in a week. Yeah. I mean, they almost were down 3 of their spine because Jason Dickinson left the Islanders game the other night. He did play tonight. But yeah, no excuses, guys. Just disappointed. Burned Oils with a Canadian Darian Hatcher and Year After the Cup. Luds, we're going to lose against the Oilers again. It's taking a step, I think, but all right.
They're gonna get to the Oilers.
So that's
I didn't want to say that, Sean.
So if that's the case, we're good. We're done.
We got to get through
Do
a
we
couple
have to do
rounds.
any shows between
Season's
now
over.
and
We
then?
just got to wrap it up.
Can we have the next couple months off then? Michael Moore
That's
with
over.
a Heiskanen and 99 Cup year. Why is this team worse than with Duchene and Harley back? They have not been the same since their return. I don't know if I totally agree with that. I think since the Christmas break, but they played some good hockey over. I mean,
Yeah.
they were very. Listen, if they beat the Sabres, which ultimately I admit it that they weren't very good last night, they have a 9-win December, and you're in the top 5 in the league in points for the month.
Yeah, but they didn't.
But they did.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Craig Ludwig.
Why
But
can't we
those
have
two,
that drop all
but
the
those
time?
two are not
Correct
the
me
problem.
if I'm wrong. Craig
Harley
Ludwig.
is struggling. He's not playing. He's admitted it. Goldson's admitted it. Duchene is still coming back from the concussion, but it's not the reason they're losing these games. It's those two guys being a step behind.
Yeah, no,
Is that
this is a team. This is a team problem. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's honestly it's even hard for me to put a finger on what exactly has changed, and I just don't feel like the same energy level is there. Like there was a point I think for a long time here they were going into games knowing that they were going to win. Now I'm not sure that seems to be the feeling, just the way it looks from the outside.
Next super chat is from Fingerblaster 911. Actually, that one might be Lud's favorite. It is a. Why am I blanking? Who's 11?
Nathan Bastian.
Thank you. Sorry,
Although
Nate.
technically he's number 14 in the AHL Texas
No,
Stars
but
right
yeah.
now.
So Bastian
He's
Bastian.
a
Actually, I was
Texas
thinking
star right
11.
now.
Isn't that Cogliano?
Yes, it was Cogliano
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
well.
Miro smashing the glass moved me more of that energy and less of the low T.
Fair enough.
Michael Moore with there's the picture with a Masterton and 99 Cup here. Let's be honest, it's not about our record. It's about can we make it past the Western Conference Final. Also, the Avs and Wild are loaded for the next 2 years. The big question to me is, does Jason put us over the top or should we move him? First of all, don't get rid of Jason Robertson.
Yeah, we're back to that.
Secondly, the Minnesota Wild aren't loaded. Like, the Stars can't compete with them. They added Quinn Hughes. They got better. Minnesota was behind Dallas. Now they're a good team playing well. But if you took the Stars and the Wild and said they're going to play in the first round, I'm still pulling for. I'm not pulling. I'm
not
still
if it
picking,
starts tomorrow. I'm not.
I'm still picking for the Stars. I think they can still be the better team, but it's gotten closer. All right, next one. Since Sam and Sean don't have anything to add to it,
that's why you make moves.
I'm just listening to these guys.
That's why you make moves. Like, that's why I said
why you make
earlier.
moves.
Like, this is that's why you make moves. So,
all right, Craig's Buttwig with another one. A Lundqvist in year after the Cup. How bad do you think this team is missing Bish right now? You're talking about Bixel or Bishel. Y'all think the one heavy guy we have makes that difference? When all else fails, he can just hit people. Luds?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's a weighty guy. Obviously, that's what he does, and he does it well. But to be totally honest with you, I don't think he was playing at the same level prior to him getting hurt that he did last year. And so I thought that there was some growing that he still has to do. But I just hope he gets back, because can we use the physicality? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard, there's no reason to be overly concerned. It's an injury as far as, Sam, I believe from what we've heard and reported on, they expect him to be fine in the next couple of months. Like, this isn't something they think is going to linger long term.
Yeah, I think right before the break was the thought, potentially before. Now I'd say with where we are and how little we've heard, it would probably be right after.
Yeah, but well before the playoffs.
Yeah,
we're not
for sure.
worried about that long term.
February 8th latest.
Okay, next one is from Harry Wagstaff with a that's a Hatcher in year after the Cup. Maybe the team needs badges. Sam,
You don't need us to badges. Come on.
Oh,
And then
but they
there's
should,
this
but
one.
no, but they should become. They should go to the diehard level, sicko level stuff to get badges. Come on, Sam.
Nice.
YouTube Supporters Club. It would help them.
Nice.
It
There
would
you go.
very much help them. All right, and this one, which may be our last one, I think actually sparks an interesting conversation. Sean loves talking about lines, but I think this is a more existential conversation about how you use your forwards. Nelly with a Haskin 99 Cup here. I'm so frustrated with Gully because why is Steele on the first line. He can't finish it all, and it's cost the team some wins. Now, I saw people in the chat respond to this saying Duchene should be up there in the top line and Steele should not be up there. So aside from talking about specific tinkering, although you can do that if you guys want to. I know Sean is dying to do that.
Oh yeah, clearly.
Here's my real
So
question.
I want to start 2026.
No. Here we go, Sean. Do you think it's more important to get Matt Duchene going with players like Rantanen or Johnston or Robo or Hintz, whatever, or to try to figure out a way to have three well-balanced offensive lines, which the Stars don't really have right now?
Here's my Sam Steele thing. It's not his line placement. It is, and to quote my good friend Dmitry Filipovich on this, why is Sam Steele so vital to the plan? That's the part I want to go down on, right? Like, Sam Steele is a wonderful utility tool, does so many things the right way, but I don't understand if he ends up on the first line because of this team's depth and injuries and all of that stuff. Okay. For me, it's Sam Steele is clearly one of Glenn Gullettson's guys. One of his, like, every coach has their favorites, right? At least Sam Steele is better than some other coaches' favorites. So, there's the 2-on-1 in the first. There's the 2-on-1 in this game, right, where it's Steele to Rantanen, and you're like, that's one where, you know what, someone else is on that spot. Maybe a goal is scored there, and so I don't care about what line Sam Steele is on. I do think it's important that we identify, now that we're 41 games in, everyone has their favorites, and every coach has their guys that they like that they're their favorite pet cats that are gonna go a little more. And Sam Steele is Glenn Gullettson's pet cat, and he is going to continue to be more and more important.
Could it be his pet possum?
So,
Luds, what do you think about the Steele, Duchene, that whole argument about trying to get?
Where are you putting Duchene? if you want to play him with Wyatt and Mikko, where are you putting Duchene? On the left side again?
Do you think
Where that's not his natural position?
Or Wyatt is the one that needs to go.
Wyatt's going to go play his offside.
I think that's the better strategy. I'm not saying that's the perfect one. I'm just that's the better of the two.
I would agree with more that way.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But see, I don't like the phrase 3 offensive line, because then it tells me that we're getting away from playoff hockey and we're just trying to think about scoring. I think they got to be balanced lines. I do think that Matt's kind of said it a little bit, like, about bouncing around and, and so I think he's putting the word out there.
He wants to play with those two. He's very honest about that.
Yeah. I just, and again, maybe it worked. I mean, if you're going to do it, then you got to do it and give them a chance to do it. But, again, I thought Sean would have said it. How are you going to fix it? Make a couple moves.
Yeah, probably.
That's how you fix it. If you're not sold on, what you have to do to get to play Edmonton.
To be fair, I was asked by what does this team do to fix it, not what does Jim Nill do to fix it. So I was kind of going with the answer of that. So,
Sam.
Yep.
I asked the first two. Do you want to weigh in on this topic before we get to one more super chat?
No, what I was just saying. I think that
No, but yes.
They deserve a shot to do it. We've talked about Sam Steele over and over again. They're missing pieces. Sam Steele is not their long-term solution on that line, but I believe he's a placeholder for what they hope is a bigger piece that they can add to it. That's just my thought. So I don't worry too much about it.
Okay, let's get to the final super chat. Spittin' Chicklets with a Heiskanen 99 Cup year. It feels like the Stars hit this slump around this time, usually January, February, every year. Agree?
If they do, that's fine, as long as you're not going through it in March.
Well, and the 7-game losing skid going to finish the season last year didn't exactly inspire a lot of confidence, although they ended up winning 2 rounds and getting back to the conference finals. So, quick note from our producer. The Stars are 30, 14, and 6 in January and February, the previous 2 seasons, not counting tonight. 30, 14, and 6. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last year they were first.
But
they were second in the NHL.
To the super chat question, I do definitely remember mid-season malaise over the last 10 seasons or so, 10, 12 years of Dallas Stars hockey. There would be that. But that was, as Lud said before, it happened a lot.
Yeah.
So, all right. We do not have a show.
I do have a quick note of research real quick, just because everything in this franchise, Jamie's been with this team as long as possible, so he's the only way I can kind of find data that connects all of this. Fascinating thing here, okay? January is Jamie's lowest scoring month of his career. That is a full calendar month. In his NHL career, October 113 points, November 166, December 151, January 109, February 139, March 195. For months that actually play all 4 weeks of the year, Jamie Benn's lowest scoring one is January. So if that reflects to the team and Jamie reflects the team, there you go. So
we don't have a show tomorrow. We are off because of having to work on the holidays here. We have a game on Sunday, so we'll actually be back Sunday for a midday matinee against the Montreal Canadiens.
Renault gonna be there.
And Luds, it was ugly for the Canadiens or for the Habs when the Stars went to Montreal. They'd love to have another runaway, but the way they've played the last 4, they've got to worry about more than that, I would say. Oh, he's checked out. Okay.
His microphone's not even here.
He's done. Sam's done. Sean's done. I guess that means we're done. For
this
all of them.
Sam, is this what we do? Is this what we do? Is this right? Is this for
Close
you,
enough.
Sam? Is this
That's
or
more,
this?
that's more Texas Tech. Here, Ryan.
Ryan just gave you a middle finger. All right. Hope you enjoy. By the way, it's only Thursday. We have a Friday. It's just, well,
I think we're
already in it, Luds. Let's go. Stars lose tonight. We'll see you Sunday, 12:15 pregame show. Montreal Canadiens.
Good night.
1 o'clock. Stars and Les Habitants. Enjoy your weekend.
I am dangerous.
Where'd this come from?
We all silly like the mayor.